Welcome back to our study. We've just been speaking last time about the dragon, the red dragon, and he wanted to devour the man-child, which of course probably was Jesus. And he worked that through Herod. He had to work through a person. Now the devil was created not as the devil, because my title today is, why did God create the devil? The answer to that is quite simple. He didn't. The devil was created as an archangel or as a cherubim, and we'll see that he was beautiful creation, had a high position in heaven, and that cherubim was really a greatly favoured being with lots of musical ability. And here I am in Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28, verse 14. You were the anointed cherub that covers with overshadowing wings. I set you up to be so. You were upon the holy mountain of God. You walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire, like the paved work of gleaming sapphire stones that the God of Israel walks upon. Verse 15. You were blameless in all your ways, from the day you were created until iniquity was found in you. Now, when iniquity was found in him, then of course the obvious result was he got thrown out. And got thrown out of heaven. And of course in verse 13, the preceding verse, Ezekiel 28:13, you were in Eden. Of course he was in Eden, because he was the dragon in heaven, the anointed cherub, but he got thrown out and he landed on his belly in Eden, and he tempted the woman, and Adam and Eve fell, and the rest is history. That's the destruction of the righteous state of mankind. Now another passage on the creation of this archangel or this cherub, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12. How you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. You're cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. Now there he's called Lucifer, and there's another name for the devil which is called Heylel, Heylel. Heylel, yeah. The bright and shining one. Now here, because of pride, what did he say? I will ascend. This is Isaiah 14, verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And then verse 50 says, but you shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So because of pride, he wanted the position that only God can have, the position to be worshipped. Now this became very clear in the temptations of Jesus. After he'd been on a 40-day fast in the wilderness, Jesus came back hungry, and he was tempted by the devil. And this we find in Luke 4. And here we find the devil's real objective, his real motive, his real goal in life. Because it says in Luke chapter 4, verse 5, reading from the Passion Translation, of course. The devil lifted Jesus high into the sky, and in a flash showed him all the kingdoms and regions of the world. And the devil said to Jesus, all of this, with all its power, authority and splendour, is mine to give to whoever I want to. Just do one thing, turning to Jesus, just do one thing, and you'll have it all. Bow down to worship me, and it will be yours. You will possess everything. And Jesus rebuked him and said, Satan, get behind me. Only one is worthy of adoration. Worship only the Lord your God and love him supremely. So there you see the devil's objective is to be worshipped. That's what he wants. That's what he dreams about. And that's why he raised himself up and got thrown out of heaven. Now, the devil is active on the earth, and we are now in pre-tribulation times. We've spoken about this. Pre-trib, the earth is getting in a real state, like Matthew 24 said it would do. Pandemics and earthquakes and wars all around us. The earth is in it's a new era of pre-tribulation era, we could call this. And the devil has got his spokesman. He's got one person singled out who is a key player in the tribulation, and he is the Antichrist. Now, the 7 years of tribulation, which could well start in September on the Feast of Trumpets, the last Shmita that we talked about, that's got about 1,800 views or 2,000 views, I don't know, but it's been very, very popular. That last Shmita, the last 7-year period, it could be starting this year in September 26, or it may be in 2029. I don't know, because it depends. But it will have to be at the start of a Shmita cycle. And the devil has lined up a man who he will totally operate through, the Antichrist. And that Antichrist person is probably alive now. He must be alive now. But the thing is, we will not be aware of him. The church will not see him. The Antichrist will only become apparent after the rapture. Now, I know some of you will not agree with me doctrinally, but I'm going to do this in another video. Why won't the Antichrist appear until after the rapture? But the Antichrist's whole objective is to see that the plan of the devil wanting to be worshipped is fulfilled. So we're in pre-trib. We'll come into the tribulation either this year later on or in 7 years' time. And then we will see the Antichrist as a central player, a central character. But we won't if we're not here. And I'm not really wanting to be around to see the antics and the evil, pure evil, that he will instigate on the earth. Okay, hope that made it a little bit clearer. The devil was not made by God. God made Lucifer, or Heylel, and he fell by pride and was thrown out of heaven. Best place for him. Only problem is he's now on the earth and pretty active. But we don't have to be afraid of him, because greater is he in me than he in the world. Amen.